Facts that will give you nightmares. It takes 27,000 trees to be killed in order to make your toilet paper. Babies grow mustaches in the womb and the hair covers their whole entire body, but they lose it right before they're born. Crows, along with many other animals, can recognize human faces, meaning that somewhere out there are some animals that probably know who you are. And 1/3 of all murders in the United States go unsolved.
Here's what it actually feels like to die. This is Travis Flores, a man who lived with cystic fibrosis. Because of this chronic condition, Flores has come face to face with death and lived to tell the story. Flores has undergone 2 double lung transplant surgeries, and while he survived the first surgery, in the second one he almost lost his life. He was laying on a hospital bed with 2 collapsed lungs and tubes in his chest. And the last thing he remembered he said was, "Mum, I'm sorry, I'm dying," and then he blacked out. At that moment between life and death, he described it as the most remarkable, beautiful, merciful feeling he's ever experienced. He said it was an experience that gave him a new sense of gratitude for life and removed his fear of death.
Here's what would happen if you drank only water for 20 days. The first 2 days would be the worst. You would feel extremely hungry, your energy levels would drop, and your mood would be intolerable. In days 3 to 7, a process called ketosis would occur, where your body would burn fat, causing you to lose weight. You would also feel less hungry and more energetic, however you would still get bad headaches and a bad night's sleep. In days 8 to 14, you would feel clarity of mind and you would feel happy and more energetic. Very few people make it to days 15 to 20 of water fasting, so you would feel very proud. However, you would probably be ready to eat some solid food again. Now comment if you would try water fasting.
5 interesting stuff. Number 5. This is the water anole, also known as the scuba diving lizard. They have been documented to stay underwater for up to 18 minutes long, with the help of their ability to recycle breathing air, by holding onto the air they exhale in a bubble. It's widely thought they evolved this ability by escaping to the water from predators. Number 4. If you live in the US or Canada, you may know that geese aren't mean, but they aren't actually mean. They're just territorial like most animals. We just happen to live in the same territory. It doesn't help that they're larger birds, leave messes, they're loud, and they're extremely protective of their young. But I mean, if a goose walked into your house, you might act like this too. Number 3. Baby owls sometimes sleep face down, because their large heads prevent them from sleeping while perched, so for a few hours a day, baby owls are just like... Number 2. This is the most complete woolly mammoth ever discovered. She died over 42,000 years ago, and was found in Siberia in such good condition, her internal organs were still intact, and even still had her mother's breast milk preserved in her stomach. That's not to mention the guy who found it, propped it up outside of his store, and a dog came by, nibbled on it, and even took its tail off for a snack. And number 1. Moose are huge, like a lot bigger than people realize, since they don't really live in highly populated areas. They're so big, the biggest ones are hardly worth for any predators to take a chance on, but the top 3 predators are the most realistically sized moose are bears, wolves, and killer whales. Though it's not always a regular occurrence, killer whales have been found to stalk moose while they're foraging in autumn waters for nutrient-rich plants, or even crossing over to close islands. And while moose can run at a top speed of 35 miles an hour on land and water, they're practically defenseless against fast and strong orca, becoming a giant feat.
Same tactics used by the Secret Service. The last one I guarantee you had no idea about. This right here is the presidential motorcade. The motorcade consists of several of the same vehicle, which is this one right here. You've probably heard me speak about this one before. This car has complete bullet and missile proof door, a chain gun under the seat, and much more. This thing could literally survive anything. On top of this, they have the fleet of these so no one actually knows which one the president is in, so they can't target him. Pretty clever. Next up, the badges that the Secret Service wear aren't actually badges. Yeah, they're not. Basically, these things are made specially for them as a spy device, and consist of radios and cameras depending on what's needed in the situation. Finally, this right here is the Doomsday plane, and it's called that for a reason. This plane could stay in the air for over a week straight without having to land to refuel. On it, you can do anything. This thing has the capability to launch nuclear weapons worldwide, or missiles from submarines. The president could do his job and control the entire world from on this. It's absolutely mental. So if you see this taken off, we're screwed, because it means a nuclear war's about to happen.
Here is some life advice that you need to know. Okay, firstly, if you ever wake up in the middle of the night and you smell gas, do not turn on your lights. You need to go outside and call 911. Because if your house does have a gas leak, a spark from the light switch could blow it up. Next, this is one of the most painful things ever, a paper cut. Well, if you don't want any pain anymore and you want it to heal faster, just put chapstick on it. You know when you drop a piece of food on the ground and you say to yourself 5-second rule and still eat it? Well, as soon as it hits the floor, tiny microscopic bugs will be on your food. So the next time you do the 5-second rule, you might be eating some bugs. You know these bubbles in your drink? Well, they could actually mean a lot more than you think. If you're ever outside with your drink and the bubbles are on the edge of the cup, it means there's high pressure and you're probably gonna get good weather. But if the bubbles are more so in the middle, you need to find cover. Finally, remember that your phone can always call 911, even if you don't have a service provider or internet connection.
This Aztec whistle is one of the scariest sounds you will ever hear. When odd skull-shaped grave items were found by archaeologists decades ago in an Aztec temple in Mexico, they were thought to be ornaments or toys and were cataloged and stored in warehouses. But years later, experts discovered that they were actually creepy death whistles that the Aztecs used in ceremonies, sacrifices, and in battle to strike fear within their enemies. And when these whistles were finally blown, they made piercing noises resembling the sound of a human howling in pain.
Is the real reason why your eyes get crusty when you sleep. Your eyes constantly produce mucus and tear for protection to function normally. Every time you blink, it helps to flush out excess mucus and irritants such as stray eyelashes and specks of dust and dirt. When you're sleeping, your eyes continue to manufacture the tear and mucus. But since you're not blinking, the excess matter gathers in the corner of your eyes and eyelashes.
Weird facts that you'll wish you never knew. Humans lose 30,000 to 40,000 skin cells every single minute. In theory, a slug could have 90,000 grandchildren and 27 million great-grandchildren if they all survived. A 10-second kiss with somebody exchanges over 80 million bacteria. And the odds of you finding true love are actually pretty low. The mathematical odds of you finding your soulmate are 1 in every 10,000 lifetimes.
These are mind-bending facts about your body. You will have a brand new skeleton in 10 years. That's because skeletal system cells are constantly regenerating. You are taller in the morning than you are at night. This is due to the pressure put on your joints throughout the day. And half of your hand strength is in your pinky. It's helping your thumb to pinch and it's giving more power to your ring, middle and index finger. Losing your pinky would mean losing 50% of your hand strength.